The universe of Doom is vast, filled with unexplainable horrors that would corrupt anyone who is unlucky enough to come across them. For the past 30 years or so, the demons of hell were the arch enemy of humanity and the origin of Doomguy's suffering. All of that would change with the introduction of the makers on Doom Eternal, a race of hyper-advanced creatures that pose as angels of salvation, when in reality they just search for a race to develop to the point they can wage war against hell, in this case the humans of Argentina, and benefit from all the lives that are lost in this conflict, as this is a necessary step to ensure their own survival as a species, turning Doom into much more than just an unrelenting rampage against the demons of hell.
You're goddamn right.
Unfortunately, by the end of the Ancient Gods, all existing threats against humanity were no more. The Makers as we know them will eventually die. The Dark Lord has been killed, meaning that no demon can get out of hell, and Doomguy was sealed once again in the cursed sarcophagus, telling all of us that his story has come to an end. Yet, everything has changed with the release of Doom the Dark Ages and the introduction of the Cosmic Realm. Because this is a prequel and the origin of the legend of the Doomslayer, everyone who has played Doom 2016 knew how this game was going to end on its final DLC. The Doomslayer entombed on the cursed sarcophagus and the Sentinel Empire destroyed. Yet Hugo Martin, the game director of both Doom Eternal and Doom the Dark Ages, has stated recently that we were all wrong, especially me, for thinking that the Dark Age of Doom will end with this game, teasing that not only is this not their last Doom game, but that they are planning on expanding the universe of Doom even more, and has specifically asked me to make a video on this whole situation.
Midnight, make a video of this. If we...
Está bien, cabrón, lo voy a hacer. If you're excited for yet another Doom game, smash the like button, let's send a message to id Software that another Doom game is always welcome. Let's see if this video can reach 5,000 likes, and let me know down below in the comments what you think about the idea of yet another Doom game. Because as you all know, I read and reply to all of your comments, and according to Hugo, he does watch these videos as well, so it's pretty safe to assume that he's also reading your comments, my friends, so just do it. With that being said, let's sit down, open the codex, and dive straight back into hell. This video was sponsored by Gamersubs and this stupidly amazing sale. Use code MIDNIGHT to get 10% off your order, and for every flavor you get, you will receive free gifts, a shaker, merch, t-shirt, etc. With the maximum tier being enabled after 5 flavors have been bought. So if any of this is of your liking, be sure to grab them while supplies last. Thank you so much for the support, and I really hope you enjoy. Like I've said before, Doom the Dark Ages is filled with foreshadowing of what's to come in the future, and if you have played Doom 2016, you already know how the Dark Ages are going to end. Yet, one of my main concerns with the DLC of this game, which I made a video about, was how id Software were going to hit all of the important story points and tie all the loose ends in just 2 DLCs. The amount of things we're yet to see before Doomguy is entombed in the cursed sarcophagus are way too much for just 2 DLC campaigns. There are so many things yet to tell that they could make an entire game out of all of this. Hugo Martin watched that video I made and talked about the subject in one of his live streams.
I saw your vid, Midnight, about the story. I would agree with you, Midnight, that if we rush and try to pack it all in, it's going to feel unsatisfying. We'll promise that we will tell yet another chapter or 2 in the tale of the Slayer's time with the Sentinels. But if we conclude with when they trap them in hell, which we know that stuff happens, then that's the end. That is the end of the Slayer's time with the Sentinels, and we're not gonna end it like that. We can't like just wrap it up, you know, like, I mean, that's, at least I don't think we should. I mean, like, we're making it right now, and I just personally feel like that's like a massive leap forward, in my opinion, to tell the story of the death of Merrick and this and that and all those things. But certainly there's more story to tell there, and we will tell it. I don't know if that's a good answer. Midnight, is that a good answer? You're gonna make a video about that? I watch all the videos. That's how I feel. I'm not announcing anything. It's just like, do you guys really want us to
Super
close the
bookend,
book
yeah.
on this period? Like, because then there's no more medieval Doom. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, we're going to make it. It's
Yeah.
just like, close it? Really? I don't want to close it.
Having too much fun. Yeah.
It's too cool. It's such a cool period of the Slayer's timeline that I just don't want to end.
Yeah,
So
same.
abruptly.
Simply put, Hugo agrees that condensing the remnants of the story of the Dark Ages on a DLC would not only feel rushed, but will ultimately lead to an unsatisfying conclusion. Because of that, Hugo doesn't want to end Doom the Dark Ages where Doom 2016 began.
I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
He is not outright announcing that they are working on a brand new Doom game already. I think that would even be considered illegal to do, but going by history, this is not the first time Hugo has stated his feelings about a certain topic regarding Doom, and a whole new game spawns a couple of years later. Doom the Dark Ages is the perfect example of that. In 2021, I uploaded an interview with Hugo himself. Not only did he state that he would love to tackle cosmic horror in the future, but that he would love to make a lore comic book of the legend of the Doomslayer on Argentina. Fast forward a couple of years, not only did we get a game about Doomguy's backstory on Argentina, but we were also introduced to the cosmic realm, the third faction of enemies that threaten the existence of humanity, one that will play a pivotal role in the upcoming DLCs of the Dark Ages, and even after the events of the Ancient Gods, in my opinion.
Are you ready?
Anyhow, now that we know Hugo and its software are against finishing this era of medieval Doom in the Dark Ages, realistically speaking, where in the story is the DLC going to end and what story is the in quotes new Doom game going to tell? If we take a good look into the codex of the entire franchise, especially the story of the Sentinels codex in Doom Eternal, it's pretty easy to determine where the DLC is going to end and what can be made into another game. In the DLC for the Dark Ages, it's pretty much but confirmed that we're going to hunt down the Order of the Six Archdemons, as they are the ones who have ruled over all of hell for eons, and the reason why Doomguy's entire life has been destroyed. We may fight against Ulsamir's real form, being that her body in the Dark Ages has been confirmed to be a temporary vessel, and at last, we are going to experience firsthand the death of Merrick, the corruption of his father Commander Balin, the ultimate betrayal, and the birth of the Icon of Sin. But how exactly is this going to happen? In the Codex, it's stated that for years the Doomslayer alongside his Night Sentinels took the war against Hell deeper and deeper as time went on. With each battle fought and won, they were able to gain more and more ground in Hell. This happened after the end of the Dark Ages. Thanks to this, the Con Maker began construction in collaboration with the Six Archdemons, several factories within Hell's territory. Factories such as Necroval, a place where the souls of the dead are siphoned with Hell's essence and Wraith energy to create Argent power.
Get me 20 of them.
This went on for years, maybe even more than a decade, yet eventually the truth will be discovered. For all this time, it was unveiled by the Night Sentinels that their mother god, the Con Maker, the one who gave them gifts of technology that made their empire prosper, was actively perpetrating this war against the demons, as it was in the Khan's best interest that the Night Sentinels kept killing themselves trying to fend off the demons of Hell, as all of those deaths will keep fueling the factories such as Necroval, which channel Argent energy directly into Urdak. The Con Maker was actively sacrificing millions of souls for the sake of her race, and this was the nail in the coffin. The insurrection has already begun. and they are hopeless to stop it. This single discovery spewed forth the Sentinel Civil War. The Sentinels who were indoctrinated by the Con Maker against the Sentinels who stayed loyal to the Empire. This civil war went on for years, until it reached its climax. At some point in this conflict, Merrick, Commander Valen's son, will die. The archdemons will use Valen's grief for his son's soul, which is now damned to eternal suffering, and struck a deal. Give us the elemental raids, and your son will come back to life. Liar! In the last moments of the Civil War, King Novik, alongside the remnants of the Night Sentinels and the Doomslayer, came up with the final plan. Enter Hell and destroy Necroball, cutting the Argent power source from its root, in turn dooming the Makers, as without Argent energy, they will slowly corrupt and die. It was all or nothing, a mission that meant death. Yet, with the Doomslayer by their side, it was more than possible. They began their march and entered the portal. What happened after was nothing but despair, as every single one who entered the portal was scattered individually to a different place in hell. Formation was non-existent, leadership was gone, and worst of all, the Sentinel priests who were believed to be loyal had shut down the portal from the outside, sealing the fate of the Night Sentinels who ventured into the hellscape and that of the Sentinel Empire.
Fuck.
This is known as the Final War, the last stand of the Night Sentinels against the demons. With no means of escape, every Night Sentinel knew that they would eventually die, and with that, they fought until the very end. This is the point where the mysticity behind the legend of the Doomslayer began, as the loyal Sentinels that stayed behind in Argent began telling stories that they believed that the Doomslayer was still in hell, fighting the demons until none of them were left.
You got that?
In the Dark Ages DLC, we'll fight against the archdemons alongside Valen, Merrick, and we'll find the factories created by the Con Maker, with the DLC ending right when the Civil War begins. In the new Doom game, we will go through the Civil War, experience the ultimate betrayal, and fight in the Last Stand, with this game continuing until we fight against the Champion Titan, are given the Praetor suit by the Wretch who shall not be named, and fall into a trap where an obsidian temple is dropped into Doomguy, with him finally being entombed in the cursed sarcophagus. Yet, we still haven't talked about Ulsamir. It might be a huge stretch, but I believe Ulsamir may come back post the Ancient Gods.
What?
The Seraphim, Samur or Samuel Hayden, is still somewhere going through transfiguration and becoming a monster. The demons are physically unable to invade humanity no more. But Ulsamir, she may join hands with Samur. I mean, Doomguy killed both of their gods, so it might be possible, in my opinion.
I understand.
I'm a bit conflicted with this, so please let me know what you think. Do you think the DLC will end with the beginning of the Civil War? Or do you think the DLC will end after Commander Valen's betrayal? If there are indeed 2 DLCs in the works, I think it's better to end the DLC after the betrayal and start the new Doom game with the Final War, the last stand of the Night Sentinels and the beginning of the Doomslayer's legend inside of Hell. Let's call this game Doom: The Last Stand. But anyways, my friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and if you did, do not forget to leave a huge like, a comment for the algorithm gods, and use code MIDNIGHT on GamerSubs. Have an awesome day, my friends, and stay safe. Adios. Bye.